do you have any such experience that from there you got a life-changing, you experience a life-changing moment that like changes your vision or outlook towards life itself? Have you? Yeah.
Many a times. But what happens with us doctors, that gradually in our profession, after seeing so much of death and suffering, people tend to lose their empathy, right? This is a kind of deconditioning you might say happens with most of us. You see a lot of death, you see a lot of suffering on a daily basis, then you think, oh, it's a part of life. And someone, rather than taking a good message from this, or rather taking it in a positive way, or rather having a spiritual perspective towards it, that you see how this world is full of suffering and this body is full of suffering, it's full of miseries. It's not an object to be enjoyed. Rather, we could become just deconditioned. We close our eyes, we shut down ourselves away from the suffering of the people. And rather than becoming empaths, we become hard-hearted, right? But yes, in my case, I definitely have many such experiences. I won't say they are life-changing, but they've had a deep impact on me on many levels. One of the situations was which very much relates to the story of liquid beauty, which Srila Prabhupada many times used to narrate in his lectures. So I remember it was back in 2020 during COVID. So we at times had a few patients with severe respiratory illness, and at that time I was working in the ITU of SSKM hospital. So there once was admitted a girl hardly of age 22, or I would say 23. And externally, yes, one can say that she was beautiful, one can say. And while she was alive, because if you might remember COVID, so initially it was very mild, then it would progress and become severe after 7 or 8 days. Initially she was doing very fine. So many people would come to meet her, not just her family members. We noticed that young boys, probably of her age only, they also used to come and meet her. As she started to get severe illness, then we had to put her on ventilator, and when we usually put the patient on ventilator, we knock them down, we make them unconscious so that they can bear the pain and the trauma of it. So then I saw gradually the number of people who used to come and meet her on a daily basis decreased. And unfortunately, there came a day when we couldn't save her. She went into shock, and we tried for around 40-45 minutes, but then we just couldn't revive her. And my God, was I surprised when none of those boys turned up. When her dead body was supposed to go down into the mortuary, we called the patient family member. The parents came, but none of those boys came. Because usually after the patient expires, the body is kept for a few hours, 4.5 hours in the same place. Nobody came to see. Many people came, but none of those boys. So that gave me an understanding that how this body has no worth when one dies. You just take out I would say hardly a 7 or 8 mm thick skin from our body, and you can't then even picture the most beautiful person without their skin, right? You just remove 4 or 5 kgs of an organ from your body, and you can't see the other person with the same lustful eyes maybe you had for them. So then one must then reflect upon the reality of this body, reality of life, and actually the reality of the concept of beauty which prevails in this world. One must ponder. And for this, I don't think one needs to be a doctor. It's very basic. One just needs to be observant. Spirituality does not need a lot. It just needs careful observation. Same goes for medicine, I must say. There's a lot of theory, there's a lot of practical surgery and everything, but every time, since the time we have entered into our college days, from the very first day, our professors would used to teach us that be observant if you want to become a good clinician. A good clinician is a good observer, right? And this idea of being a good observer, it prevails in every sector, if you might notice.
Yes.
If you want to become a good scientist, how have great discoveries come from? They have come from observation. If you want to become a good artist, if you want to become a good comic, now those comics which are now very famous in our country, where do they derive their punchlines from? Day-to-day interaction with the maybe see in streets or in their homes. So in every sector, in every aspect, if you want to become an expert, you just need to be a good observer. One needs to be silent, right? Look and then reflect inwards, and it will give you a lot of perspective.